Bavaria, 1922. A small farm called Hinterkaifeck, standing alone at the edge of the woods, between Ingolstadt and Schrobenhausen. On the last night of March, someone walked out of that forest and killed everyone who lived there. 6 people. And then he did something almost no killer ever does. He stayed. For days afterward, the chimney kept smoking. The cattle were fed and watered. Food in the kitchen was eaten. Neighbors passing by saw the ordinary signs of a household going on as normal, and never guessed that everyone inside was already dead. It would be 4 days before anyone went to look. On the 4th of April, a small search party crossed the fields to the farm. The neighbor, Schlittenbauer, was among them. In the barn, beneath a heap of hay, they found 4 bodies laid one on top of another. 2 more were inside the house. We name them because this case so often forgets them for the sake of the mystery. Andreas Gruber, 63, his wife, Cäzilia, 72, their widowed daughter, Viktoria, 35, Viktoria's 2 children, Cäzilia, age 7, and little Josef, just 2 years old, and the family's new maid, Maria Baumgartner, in her 40s, who had arrived to start work only that very afternoon. By nightfall, she was dead with the rest. All 6 had been struck down with a heavy farm mattock, a Bavarian grubbing hoe. The weapon itself would not even be found until the farmhouse was torn down, a full year later. But what turns this tragedy into one of the most haunting cases in German history is what came before it. In the weeks and months leading up to that night, the family had the unmistakable sense that they were not alone. 6 months earlier, the previous maid had quit. It was said she left because the house was haunted, that she heard footsteps in the empty attic. Andreas heard them too. He climbed up to search and found no one there. A house key went missing. Andreas found a Munich newspaper on his property that no one had ordered, that no one in the area even subscribed to. And in the fresh snow, he found a set of tracks, leading from the dark of the forest to his farm. He told the neighbors. He did not call the police. The family did not leave. And then they died. Someone, it seems, had already been inside that house, living in the dark above their heads, before a single blow was ever struck. So who was it? For 100 years, 3 names have circled this case. The first, Schlittenbauer, the neighbor. He was entangled with the household through a paternity dispute over Viktoria's little boy and years of bitter bad blood. He was there when the bodies were found. The second, Gabriel, Viktoria's first husband, reported killed in the trenches of the First World War in 1914. Some whispered that he had never really died, that he had come home to find a wife who had moved on and taken his revenge. The third, a stranger, a wanderer out of the forest, drawn to an isolated farm, leaving a single set of footprints in the snow. 3 suspects, 1 file, and a killer who, by every sign, had been watching that house long before the final night. 3 suspects, and over the decades, 2 of them fall away. Start with the husband who came back from the war, Gabriel. It is the most cinematic of the theories, and the weakest. The records are clear. Gabriel was killed near Arras, in France, in December of 1914. His death was confirmed by men who had known him and who saw his body, and today he lies in a war cemetery in France. The ghost who came home from the trenches is a story the case likes to tell about itself. It is not what happened. Set him aside. The wanderer fares little better. A single set of prints, 1 fleeting sighting at the forest's edge. But a drifter does not kill 6 people and then linger for days, feeding the animals and heating the stove as if he had inherited the place. Whoever did this knew the farm, knew its locks, its routines, its hiding places, and that points away from a stranger, which leaves the neighbor. Schlittenbauer was bound to that family by a child and by years of conflict. When the search party arrived, it was Schlittenbauer who went into the house, who moved among the bodies in the barn, who seemed to open the locked doors without any trouble at all, disturbing the scene so badly that investigators could never reconstruct what had truly happened. And in the years that followed, he sued the people who called him the murderer to his face, and he won. But suspicion is not proof. There was no confession, no physical evidence, no charge was ever brought against him, and he died in 1941, a free man. The case was formally closed in 1955, unsolved, In a century, it has never been cracked. Then in 2007, a class of cadets at the Bavarian Police Academy reopened the file as a training exercise, applying modern investigative methods to the century-old evidence, and they reached a conclusion. They agreed among themselves on the single most likely killer, and then they chose not to release the name, out of respect for the suspect's living descendants. The case, they decided, can never be solved in a court of law. There is one last strange detail. After the autopsies, the victims' heads were taken to Munich to be studied, even shown to a clairvoyant, in the hope of an answer that never came. And then the skulls were lost, in the chaos of the Second World War. So the dead of Hinterkaifeck lie buried in the churchyard at Weidhofen, without them. 6 people, a killer who lived in the walls above them, a name known perhaps to a single room full of students, and to no one else on earth. Most likely, never proven, and in the quiet hours, still unsolved.